Hello everyone, Exiles. Today I want to share another of my builds with you, this time in POE2 League 0.4 at Ziri Bubis League. Every league I am trying the new character. This time we are going for the Spear Lady, for the Amazon. Jonathan was talking a lot of positive things about Amazon, how fun it is, the combo of melee and range archetypes. So I've tried it and I've liked it, but I think it has some weird design choices, but whatever. Let's go over the character real fast before the showcase. So I've tried basically all the skills which Amazon has. And I've ended up using Primal Strikes, which deals 3 attacks. Third attack deals bonus damage, plus if you hit shocked enemies, they release spirits which deal decent amount of damage. So the range stability I went for is Storm Lance. So you basically throw a spear, it hits enemies nearby, it chains, and if you spend, it's pretty weak on its own, but if you spend a frenzied charge, it becomes very good, deals a lot of damage and leaves shocked ground, so we can hit with Primal Strikes. We also convert all our lightning damage to cold and use Pandemonius amulet with Leopold's Applause gloves, so we can penetrate elemental resistances down to 50%, minus 50%. If you don't know, in POE2 you can penetrate only up to 0% resistances, so this amulet is very synergistic with these gloves. So we lose ability to shock, but we have a lot of sources of shock ground. We have Thunderous Leap with Shocking Leap and some crit support, so when it crits, it leaves shock ground. We have Mark with Charge Mark. If we activate Mark, it leaves shock ground. And if we use Frenzy Charge with our Stormlance, it also leaves shocked ground. So we have a lot of sources of shock ground, and Primal Strikes, they almost always deal their optimal damage with shock. So we abuse all the mechanics basically. So what else I'm using? Disengage, parry for defense, for charge generation. Call the Weak I don't use. It's not, when you destroy everything in maps, it becomes basically redundant, so you can just throw it out, maybe put something else. Combat Frenzy, when we freeze enemies, we get Frenzy Charges, Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. Since we shock a lot, since we freeze a lot, it helps our clear significantly. And for we use Swallen in our main hand, our parry is in our off hand, and we use this Silver Thorn buckler, so it gives us critical weakness. And since we are using weapon swap for parry, we can take a lot of points for parry debuff magnitude. By default, parry debuff gives 50% more attack damage, and we have around 100% increased magnitude, so it's like basically double damage, 100% more attack damage. So that's about it about the build. Let's go for the showcase. We're gonna run the map with powerful boss, like some reduced damage from criticals, extra damage, armor break and other stuff. I basically don't read the maps, I just run whatever I get, and most of the times I survive. So if you can see, my Atlas is maximum boss difficulty, so it will be good showcase for damage. Damage is not enormous, but it's decent enough. So we have a lot of options. We can just leap for the start, or we can parry. We can just throw the spear and run by. Usually this is what I do. I put a mark, I throw a spear, and I just run by. This spear chains a lot, and with heralds it deals a lot of damage for clearing. I almost died, by the way. Well, yeah, defenses are not so great, especially versus damage over time effects. So it's not the tankiest build, but parry helps, and overleech helps from our body armor. I'm not gonna full clear, we'll just run by to the boss if we can find him. And also delirium is a bit of a pain. Let's disable it, so I don't shame myself by dying in the showcase. Yeah, as you can see, Stormlands is pretty chill. So you just put it in and run through. The only requirement is you have to have the frenzy charge. So let's try to find the boss. So personally, I enjoyed the playstyle of melee ranged, but I think there is not enough options for melee skills on the Amazon, on the Huntress. So I would have liked to see more melee skills for Huntress. Where is the boss? I have no idea. Let's hope we'll find him soon. Black Crow. So okay, he should be there. Also, Val Temple is kind of fun, but I think it gets repetitive very fast. Oh, he's there. So we missed the entrance. So yeah, the main downside of the whole Huntress archetype is that if you don't fulfill any of the requirements for frenzy charges, etc., you are basically dealing no damage. But if you use shock, use parry and other stuff, the damage is fairly good, in my opinion. Let's hope I don't die to some... Mana is definitely one of the problems, and getting heavy stunned is also a big problem. So sometimes maps have like increased stun, basically you get stunned more easily, and some bosses, when you parry them, they just heavy stun you, so it's not ideal. Setup, but it's kind of fun. As you can see, you use all the different abilities, and when you press them in the right order, it's a lot of damage. So that was the map showcase. I'm not gonna clear it. Basically, I'm done with the league. I killed Aziri, I killed the Arbiter, I've cleared Atlas passive tree, so basically all I wanted to do is complete, and I'm gonna go back to POE1. Tourist time is over, and for the rest of the build, obviously you want a better spear. My spear is like 500 DPS, but I've spent like 20 divines trying to craft it myself. And basically all the spears I got were worse than the spear that I bought for 1 divine at the start of the league. So also, since we are Amazon, we want accuracy for our crit chance, so we get all the accuracy nodes we can, and a lot of accuracy comes from this Woman's Gaze socketable 1 to accuracy rating per 1 item evasion rating on gear, so on helmet. So we basically get 1000 accuracy from this head and gem. So basically half of our accuracy comes from here. Rares for just resistances, I could have upgraded them, I could have gotten corrupted uniques, but I think I'm done with the league for now. I've enjoyed it. I think it's POE2 is going in the right direction. When it comes to Huntress, my biggest complaint is you don't have a lot of choice. If you are playing melee range elemental Huntress, so you basically get only 2 choices for elemental strike melee skills: Fangs of Frost and Primal Strikes. Everything else is either situational or for bleed, or fist bleed style of gameplay. So you either have to pick Fangs of Frost, which it only does damage if you consume the parry debuff, and you don't want to consume the parry debuff because it gives a lot of more damage, 100 more attack damage, and you are only left with Primal Strikes. But Primal Strikes is a nice skill, but it feels like Huntress is missing some skills, like Elemental. I've tried basically all the skills, and some of them are very questionable, like Elemental Sundering. If you're freezing and shattering monsters, Elemental Sundering explodes ailments on corpses, but if you shatter enemies, they leave no corpses. So it's if you're cold based, Elemental Sundering is basically useless, and you are either, if you're going for melee ranged playstyle, you are either cold or lightning. So a lot of questions. Of course, you can maybe go for Avatar of Fire or something else, but it's baseline Huntress, I think, misses some melee elemental skills. So that's all. Usually I post about Path of Exile 1 builds. This is the first time I'm posting POE2. Tell me in the comments if you like POE2, if you played the league, what you've played, and if you want to see more videos about POE2. That's it. Love you. Kiss you. Goodbye, guys.